Hey! Whoa, that's a bit close, isn't it? Hello, mighty warriors, and anyone else watching this video. All right, so I know you might be wondering, it's Easter, right? So what's with this guy behind me? And also, what's with the toilet paper? Oh, don't worry about that. That's just my drink that my dog's saying hello as well. That's just my drink because I'm so excited to bring this message to you today that I just don't want to stop filming. So that's there if I need to have a drink so I don't have to stop. Okay, so you might be saying, what does a toilet paper roll, this guy, and Easter have to do with each other? Okay, I'm about to tell you. All right, the theme of today is God made a way. Because from the very beginning of time, when there was just nothing, it's so hard for our human minds to imagine that. Because for us, there's always been something. So we can't even imagine just nothing. But once there was nothing until God spoke and breathed life into existence. It's just mind-blowing to think about. So from the very beginning of time, there was nothing and God made a way for there to be something. And I think every time I really think about that, I am just in awe of God and his awesome power and how he can make a way where there just is no way, like no human way possible to do something. So I think in life there is your reality, which is real, but there's also a bigger reality, that's God's reality. Because when you have a God that can make a way through anything he wants to make a way through, when you have a way-making God, nothing is impossible. So even though we might all be at home and we might not be able to gather together today, God can still take us on an amazing journey because there is no barriers to him. So hopefully we can go on that journey together today. From the very beginning, God made a way. He made the world out of nothing. Just think about that for a minute while we watch this next clip.
Into motion, he made the sky, he made the ocean. Then he looked back and said, it was good.
So awesome, huh? Nature is amazing. When God created the Garden of Eden for Adam and Eve, He made a way for them to have everything that they could ever need. He only asked one thing of them. And when they broke that rule, when they took that fruit that they weren't meant to touch, that was the only thing He asked them not to do, then they destroyed the way that God had made for them to experience the best life. But even then, God made a way. And right when Adam and Eve probably felt like their whole world was crashing around them, they couldn't live in the Garden of Eden anymore because they'd done the wrong thing and couldn't be close to God anymore. So even then, God knew that He was making a way, that there was something coming. So the reality for Adam and Eve was that they weren't able to go back to the Garden of Eden. But the bigger reality, God's reality, is that He was already planned, He had already made a way in the future for mankind to be able to come back to Him and have the best life that He had planned for us. And that is what Easter's about, as you know. But what about this banner behind me? What's that about? Okay, so as time went on, God just continued and continued and continued to make a way for people, no matter how many times that they messed up, no matter what they did. As soon as they turned back to Him, as soon as they focused on Him and asked Him what the best way to live was, and turned back to Him, then He made a way where it just looked like things were absolutely impossible. I don't know if you've ever felt like something's impossible in your life. I feel like that a lot, but I just know because time and time and time again, and I'm like pretty old now, it's my birthday soon, turning 40. But if I look back over my life, just time and again, I can't even count how many times I thought something was impossible and I could not do anything about it. You know, I tried my best, there was just nothing I can do, but I prayed and God made a way. Some of you know some of my amazing miracle stories. If you don't, just ask me and I'll be very happy to tell you. I love talking about that. But yes, God has those miracles for every single one of us when we ask Him and when we are obedient to what He wants, because the reason He asks us to do things is so that He can make a way through those hard things, through those impossible things for us. It's not so that He can just be like, don't do that, and you have to miss out on all the fun. All right, so let's talk more about this way-making God. One of the biggest examples to me that just sticks out in the Bible, because you can really just picture it, like, look at this banner behind me. Pretty cool, huh? Look at this banner. So, look at this guy, God's servant, and he's just led thousands of people to the edge of a giant body of water, because God told him to set His people free, the Israelites who were captives in Egypt. They were slaves, they were really, really badly treated, and there was a lot of problems standing in the way of that happening, which is, I recommend you read the story, even if you already know it, because the more you look at it, the more you just realize, what? God made a way so many times throughout that story, where things were just impossible without Him doing that. So just imagine this, just picture it. So here's these crowds and crowds standing by the edge of this huge body of water, and they look like they're trapped, and there's a whole army coming up behind them, like a massive army coming from Egypt that can just wipe them out. I mean, you know, they're meant to be slaves, that's what the Egyptians thought, and they had just lost all the people that worked for them, that did all of their work they didn't want to do, and built everything and basically kept everything running. Now the Egyptians would have to do all of that themselves. They were not too happy about that. And Pharaoh was definitely not happy about that, because he felt like Moses had won, and he just changed his mind and sent this massive army out after them. And the Israelites are stuck. They're stuck, and there's a huge ocean in the way. So they are absolutely trapped and stuck. And you have to admit, you would probably be thinking if you were Moses, why did God lead us all the way here and just solve all these problems and make a way through all these impossible things for us, just for us to end up here? And I'm responsible for this because I have led all these people out here to get stuck, to just wait for the army to come and destroy them or take them back to be slaves again. Like, what was that all about? What was that for? And even though he trusted God, you have to admit, he was probably like a little bit worried. So this just amazing picture here, I'll get out of the way so you can see it. This amazing picture here, you can see him and he's holding up his staff like God asked him to do. He's being obedient to God. And look how God made a way. And that is what God can do for you. So he didn't stop doing it then. He went all the way through to Easter. And then even after that, when God had made the ultimate way with Easter, he keeps making a way in our life. He's already made the way when he conquered and became victorious over sin and death at the cross, so that we can spend eternity forever with him and have the best life here on earth as well. And he continues to make a way in the massive, huge, impossible things, and even in the tiny little impossible things. He cares about all of it. He cares about you so much. That's why he sent Jesus for you, to give up everything. When we follow him, we'll watch him make a way through impossible things in our lives every single day. Not just the big things, but the little things too. He cares about all of it. I've got a pretty random story, a little testimonial about how God does really care, even about the tiny things, because he loves us so much. So that's what this one's about. This is my Easter toilet paper roll, and I'm gonna just show you a little clip about what this has to do with God making a way. Enjoy! Just click on the link below to keep going.